Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
St. Mary's Legion Post 323, veterans working for veterans and the future of our country. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 supports veterans programs such as Gifts for Yanks, Support the Troops, Comfort Warriors, Blood Donor, POW MIA programs, as well as children and youth programs. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 also donates thousands of dollars each year to local summer programs such as Boys State, Girls State, Scholarships in Education, Boy Scouts, Oratorical, and Shooting Sports. St. Mary's Legion Post 323, remembering the past, living the present, and working for the future.
Providing insurance services since 1953, the R.J. Burke Insurance Agency is here to help with your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs. Being an independent insurance agency representing many fine companies and located at 121 North Wayne Street in St. Mary's, contact Joe Burke or Dan Burke for a no-obligation quote today.
Did you know teen drivers represent the highest risk age group involved in automobile accidents? Because of this, an in-person teen driver education program is extremely important, and Capabilities Driving School is here to help. Capabilities now administers the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicle Driving Test for our students and the general public to obtain their driving licenses. Call us today at 419-394-0003 extension 1300 to enroll or learn more about the services that Capabilities Driving School has to offer.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Rider Nation Station. We are here this evening to welcome the Versailles Tigers into town for a non-league matchup. We're also welcoming the St. Mary's Rough Riders back after a short 2-game road trip. And in the broadcast booth tonight, we have another J crew, Kelly J along with Derek J and Drew Jacobs. Drew, welcome back. We were kind of worried that we had scared you off after your debut at the stat board with the high-octane Spencerville game. That was a rough one to get your feet wet with, but we're glad to have you back. And I think at this point, Drew, you've probably, by walking back up here, signed a lifetime contract with Rider Nation Station. So, yeah, welcome back. Guys, let's get started. The Versailles Tigers, Derek, tell us what we know.
The Versailles Tigers coming into tonight's matchup are 5-6, 1-3 in the mighty Midwest Athletic Conference. They're coming off of an excellent year last year where they were 21-3, won the MAC and lost to Georgetown in the districts. Last year, they have a returner, Connor Stonebreaker. He was the MAC Player of the Year. This year, having himself an excellent season, averaging about 22 points a game, 11.5 boards. During the offseason, he signed to play Division II basketball with the Hillsdale Chargers up in Michigan. Comes from a big basketball family. His mom was longtime girls basketball coach at Versailles, and his older sister Brooke is currently playing Division I basketball with Northern Illinois. So a lot of basketball blood in his veins, and he is really showing why that he's the reigning MAC Player of the Year, having himself a nice season. But this has kind of been a I don't want to say rebuilding season because you're returning the MAC Player of the Year, but kind of a season that Versailles is not used to. They're below 500. Typically, Versailles has a really nice program, made it to state a few years back. So kind of unusual for them, but given their experience with Stonebreaker, I would expect a pretty tough matchup, especially with the Parks versus Stonebreaker one-on-one matchup there.
And that should be a fun one to watch tonight because Austin Parks and Connor Stonebreaker were summer teammates on their AAU team out of Findlay.
Yeah, so close relationship there. Sometimes interesting to see how guys play that. Some guys will go harder after somebody they play with. Sometimes there's a little jawing at each other because you know each other well, so it'll be interesting to see how those two handle things tonight.
in last year's matchup at Versailles, Austin Parks kind of got the better of Connor Stonebreaker in the stat category. Parks had 15 points, Stonebreaker just 4, but Versailles Tigers came away with the win last year, 47-37. So in the end, I would say that Stonebreaker lost the battle but won the war.
Won the war, yeah. And they were led last year by Jaden Litton, who was another first-team Macker. So, you know, they had some key losses last year, and Stonebreaker kind of needs to step up this year if he wants to have the same result that the Tigers had last year. And
Litton is now playing at Edison. So, yeah, you know, taking his talents to the next level, so to speak. So the Riders return to the friendly confines of Grand Lake Health Systems Court, and they're on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, they kind of need to turn things around. Their last couple losses have been kind of falling into the same old bad habits. You know, it's turning the ball over too much, and in some of the games, not necessarily last night, but offensive rebounds really killing them. But last night against OG, and that's a tough game to start with. You know, OG is a really good team, but they turned it over 26 times, and you know that there aren't many games that you can turn it over that much and still win. So that's obviously something that needs to be fixed if the Riders kind of want to get back on the winning path. And you know, the schedule doesn't get a whole lot easier with Versailles coming into town, Van Wert. So it's a tough stretch here for the Riders, and kind of need to pick things up a little bit.
And if you look at last year's schedule, we're kind of in the same boat where we had a little losing streak right in this portion of the schedule, and everybody was kind of saying, well, what's wrong with the Riders? You know, why aren't they winning more? But you know, I had to look at it and say, hey, wait a minute, let's look at the schedule and look at who they're playing. You know, and it was really top quality teams, and their recent games against OG, obviously, as a state finalist team last year. Finley, another really strong team. Spencerville, another really strong team. And so we're in that same stretch. If they can endure, look what happened last year. They kind of rode through that bad stretch, learned from some things, and then, you know, finished out the season strong.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, is not only enduring, but coming out on the other side with some lessons learned. And right now, those lessons learned need to be taking care of the ball a little better and boxing out, keeping teams off the rebounds. Because from a statistical standpoint, they're shooting really well from the field. Like as a team, they're shooting 60% from the field and 46% from three, which is just unbelievable.
Right.
So that means that you're losing other ways, not from your offensive ability or your shooting ability.
Not getting enough possessions as we go. The flag is coming down. We got just a couple seconds left before we start the national anthem, so we will pause while we honor the flag.
Sacrifices of the brave, to honor America and to pay respect for the selfless service provided by both our military and our first responders.
At Chef Auto Sales in St. Marys, we don't play any of those pricing games. Our quality vehicles are priced at or below market value, and our no-pressure friendly staff is here to help you. So before you buy, give us a try. Come see me, Aaron Hyde, the car guy at Chef Auto Sales.
Mark your calendars for Memorial High School's performance of Anastasia, the musical, March 31st to April 1st. Inspired by the 20th century Fox motion picture, this dazzling show transports its audience from the Russian Empire to 1920s Paris. As a brave young woman enlists the help of a charismatic ensemble cast to reconnect with her past in search of home, love, and family. Follow the St. Marys Memorial High School Drama Club on Facebook for more information.
Okay, we're back and getting ready for the starting lineups. And Drew, defensively last night, the Riders took a whipping up at Otto Glandorf. What do they need to do tonight to kind of regroup and come out here against a different type of team? You know, they don't have the athleticism that OG had, but they still have a really strong quality big man. What do we hope to see tonight?
Well, Derek spoke on it with the Stonebreaker kid. You know, kind of a similar situation. You know, there's a guy that you have starred on most boards of many game plans, and you know, to not let him go out and get 44 on you is first and foremost the thing you want to set your goal at. But with the Riders, it's just, you know, being sound. There was a lot of things last night that almost kind of left you shaking your head with whether it was game plan that way or whether it was a blown assignment here or there, but continuously losing guys that probably shouldn't be lost. Again, it's like Derek was saying, you know, unfortunately we found a couple different new ways to lose, and it's not due to our offensive ability. So you hope to see the Riders continue to stay hot on the offensive side of the ball and score some points, but also at the same time maybe get a few stops and get out in transition and, you know, utilize the strengths of the team.
Some things that we did see on a positive note last night. Austin Parks came out and played another really sound game. Had 19 points, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, which is really, really important for him. He's shooting almost, at this point, almost 80% from the foul line, which is just outstanding for the season. Had 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks, so a very well-rounded game. And again, it'll be interesting to see what kind of game plan Versailles comes up with, because both teams played last night, and so, you know, at very best probably had a short walkthrough this morning. You know, Versailles is putting all their time and effort last week into their game against Parkway, you know, preparing for that league battle, and they did come up with their first league win last night, but not a lot of time to prepare. Same thing with St. Mary's. They spent all week talking about OG and preparing for that. This probably had a short walk through this morning to talk about the Versailles Tigers.
Yeah, sometimes those Saturday games can be more reliant on your base packages. You know, if you're a man team, you're probably not going to go away from that, or if you're a zone team, you're going to stick with that. And so I would imagine it's going to be tough for Sales to have, you know, any special packages for Austin Parks in terms of more nuanced double team things. And they're lucky that they shouldn't have to do a ton of that with Connor Stonebreaker in there, but not to give Connor Stonebreaker too much credit, not a lot of guys can guard Austin Parks one-on-one.
Correct.
And so they'll have to probably do something to slow him down, especially because Austin's playing very well right now. Had 19 points last night and basically saw nothing but double and triple teams.
Correct.
So he's playing good basketball, and hopefully that can continue tonight for the Riders, regardless of what Versailles throws at us.
And Braden Sullivan continuing his hot shooting last night with 9 points, and didn't really get a lot of touches last night, but 3 of 5 from the three-point line, mostly in the second half.
Yeah, you would have to imagine at this point in time, teams have kind of figured out that he can shoot it pretty well from the perimeter, and so as teams start to take that away from him, it'll be good for him to maybe throw in a shot fake here and there and take a little pull-up, because he's shooting it well from the perimeter but not doing a whole lot else right now.
So the most important thing, I think, at this point in time will be the 2 boogaboos that St. Marys has had all year, blocking out, keeping the other team off the boards, and not turning the ball over. And as we finish there with the starting lineups from public announcer Mike J., keeping things in the family, we are ready for the Laura Yelton State Farm tip-off. See Laura Yelton or Logan Yelton. And Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Stonebreaker can battle Parks for the tip-off here.
Yeah, Austin is 8 for 8 on the season for tips, but this is his biggest challenge yet. So we'll see if he can grab one.
Oh, a short toss, and once again the Riders win the Laura Yelton State Farm tip, and we are underway. A little closed down, but not much.
Yeah, more of just kind of a reach down than necessarily closing down. Connor Stonebreaker's kind of on his own on that one. And really, just a tough matchup there. You know,
he's probably given up about 30 pounds or so.
I'm sure at least.
And a short pull-up miss by Jace Watron.
Did a really nice job on the baseline drive of putting up the floater before the shot blocker gets there, just didn't quite get it to fall.
And right back into Parks again. And Cobain Owens with a nice drive. Cobain was fairly silent last night against Otto Glandorf, so it's good to see him being aggressive this afternoon.
And that's what needs to be done, because Connor Stonebreaker did not want to come over and help side and leave Austin Parks. So it leaves you pretty open on the drive there.
Watron misses again. Watron comes into the game averaging about 9 points a game for the Tigers. And we just talked about Sully being hot from the three-point line, and he nails his first Fowler TV three-pointer of the game.
He's shooting 59% from 3 on the year. And so that's no surprise that he's hits the first one there.
Jace Watron at 5'11" kind of snuck in there amongst the trees to grab that putback.
Yeah, really no excuse there for the Riders to let a 5'11" guy come in and take an offensive rebound. That's just lack of boxing out.
Sweet pass there by Austin Parks to Jace Turner. Waited, it showed great patience, waiting until they closed up on him before he dished it off.
Yep, he made him cover him. You know, some guys will not attack the double team or not attack the single guy, but he made him come up and then dished off.
And the Tigers turned that one right back over to the Riders. And Sully, again, different ends of the floor, but in amongst the trees to grab the putback.
Nice to see the Riders getting an offensive rebound for a change after the Yanksman miss there. You know, considering their size, they don't get a lot of offensive rebounds, so good to see there.
Cobain Owens gets the steal and just didn't put enough air under that, not enough touch on that pass.
Yeah, that's tough for, especially coming from the same side of the floor too. It's kind of coming over your head. That's a really tough catch for Jace Turner there.
I think a thing to be mentioned through this first 3 minutes is just the overall, I don't know if I want to call it effort or just will to go out and get on the floor, make plays, get a little scrappy with it by the Riders is night and day from last night. So you're very grateful to see that and be up 11-2 at this point.
You wonder if there was a little talking to by Coach Hagemeyer last night after the game. And Versailles, Coach Travis Swank has called a quick 30 here with the Riders leading 11-2 on the American Legion scoreboard.
The Riders here, you know, we just talked about their defensive intensity, but I think the Tigers look a little asleep here so far. You know, they're, you know, a little lackadaisical on the passing, not hitting shots, but the main thing, a couple of those early turnovers were pretty bad ones. You know, just not making good passes, letting guys get stripped. I'm sure Coach Swank not real happy with the attention to detail to start the game here.
And after the timeout, Cobain Owens gets called for a little hand check out front. Referees probably want to keep things tight at first. Typically like to call things tight right out of the chute just to keep things from getting too out of control early on. A terrible reach there by Anksman, but got away with it. And suddenly the Riders have chalked up 2 quick turnovers just in the last minute.
Yeah, and that one by Anksman there was a bad one where he's just off balance, though it kind of makes up for it with the steal. And not quite an Austin Parks slam, but a dunk nonetheless by Evan Anksman in transition. That was pretty nice.
And Tiger defender tried to go up and stop that, so I suppose we can call it sort of a posterizing.
Rider Country is a little spoiled with Austin Parks on the team that you think that as a weak dunk, saying, that's not that great. Used to seeing much more emphatic dunks.
Had a couple last night that were impressive dunks as well.
Riders really shooting the passing lane to start the game off too. Got a lot of hands-on deflections, getting things going, not making it easy on Versailles.
And after picking up the foul in the previous possession, I'm not going to mince words. That was a really stupid foul by Evan Anksman. When some people can play with the foul and be smart, but that was not smart by Evan Anksman. You gotta, when you have a foul, you gotta back off a little and not reach. And
they had
it's right in front of the official too. That was just not a smart play.
And they had just called the same foul against Kobe Nowens.
Yep. They're obviously going to call those, so you got to play accordingly.
So Jaden Lotz comes in to replace Anksman. Lotz got the starting nod last night against OG, and Connor Stonebreaker gets stripped on the drive. Good help by Sullivan on the drive.
Yeah, that was good defense. Austin Parks doing a nice job of moving his feet, but Braden Sullivan doing a nice job kind of sliding in on the help side, sticking his hands in, getting the steal.
Got a little bit of dive down help there, and Stonebreaker really did a nice job of holding his ground. Could have possibly gotten a charge foul when Austin came across with his arm.
I thought he kind of got a piece of that one too.
Yeah,
I think he blocked it a little bit, but just kind of powering through it by Parks.
You spoke on it early though, giving up the 30 pounds really.
Yeah.
Parks was flexing the muscles there on that one.
Yeah, not a lot that Stonebreaker can do on that one. When you're giving up that much weight, not a whole lot you can do.
Did a sweet job there of stuffing the passing lane, but Austin just kind of spun around him on that one to get the easy bucket.
And credit to Kobe Owens on the nice dish there. It was a nice pass. Really fed him in rhythm so that he could go right up with it.
And the Tigers turn it right back to the Riders, who now are looking at a 17-2 lead on the American Legion scoreboard.
Looks like Coach Swank is going to his bench, making a couple subs. Probably not real happy with the guard play here to start the game. Quite a few turnovers, something that obviously is not very sustainable when you're down 17-2.
And again, we talked in the pregame about how they haven't, because they played last night, haven't had a great time to do game prep for St. Mary's.
Sure.
And St. Mary's is not your traditional team because of Austin Parks.
Right.
And little misconnection there between Parks.
That was the right pass there. Turner was open, but just not delivered well. So Austin picks up the turnover there, but it was the right pass.
Needs a little touch on it.
Yep. Again, the turnover is coming back to bite the Tigers here.
Yep, another turnover. Tigers are starting to pack it in just a little bit.
Several offensive rebounds there. This one by Lotz. The Riders kind of haven't done that much this year, so good to see the Riders grabbing another one here.
The short corner. And Sully with yet another three.
2 for 2 here to start the game from 3. kind of continuing that season success so far.
Watts did a nice job of seeing him there. And a block from Parks as Stoneberger just got a little too far under the basket.
A little too far, and, you know, not many guys around can block that shot against the 6'8" guy.
And Jace Turner hits a Fowler TV three-pointer to extend the Rider lead with just 25 seconds left on the clock.
Boy, the Riders are really pouring it in right now, aren't they? That basket seems pretty big for almost everybody here.
Nice head fake. Connor Stonebreaker. That would have been a pretty good one. That would have been a manly dunk if it had gone down. Jace Turner with the putback as time expires. And boy, the Riders rebounded well from the loss last night with a 25-2 first quarter. And we will be back after a word from our sponsors.
Colder weather is just around the corner, and you want to make sure your family's vehicle is tuned up and ready to go. Rabel's Auto Service has been voted the best auto repair center in St. Marys the last 3 years. And did you know they will pick up and deliver your vehicle for free? Give Rabel's Auto Service a call at 419-394-1624 or stop in and see Jeremy at 1610 Salina Road in St. Marys. Rabel's Auto Service in St. Marys. Give them a call.
Hey Rider Nation Station fans, to watch all our events on YouTube and our live broadcast, go to youtube.com/@Rider Nation Station 8477. Select the event that you want. Once you're there, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Ring the bell by hitting all, and you'll get all future notifications right on your phone. Or select this QR code for all future events. Also, don't forget to go to RiderNationStation.com to see where we're at, what we're doing, and how we can help you and you can help us. Or select this QR code and save it away for future reference.
And we're back here at Grand Lake Health Systems Court. The Rough Riders 25, the Versailles Tigers 2, and wow, what a first quarter, guys.
Yeah, definitely a kind of change of heart for the Riders after a embarrassing loss at OG as the Tigers turn it over again on kind of the fumbled pass to Lucas Stallman there. But yeah, the Riders really didn't do, other than Austin Parks having himself a nice game, the Rough Riders didn't do much well last night. But good to see a nice rebound here so far to start the game. You know, you don't want a team to get disheartened after a tough game, and they've done a nice job here tonight.
Jace Turner took a look at a high-low, decided to put up his patented little jump hook, didn't connect, but looking high-low. I think at halftime we're going to take a look at some of the high-low stuff that the Riders have done here in the first quarter.
Yeah, the Riders, it's nice to see some of the other guys like Sullivan and Turner a little more aggressive offensively after they just didn't have good games last night, and so they need those other guys.
And the Tigers do not connect from long range, and again the Riders come right back at them. And it looks like the Tigers are this quarter starting out in a man, fairly aggressive up top with Jace Watron sort of giving Cobain Owens a little hard time. And Austin Parks picks up what I would call hustle foul.
Yeah, those are good fouls.
It's not a stupid reach in, 40 feet from basket. He was going for a loose ball and just happened to trip him up.
Probably saved the dunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the NBA, he'd have probably gotten called for a clear path on that one.
Correct.
But luckily not a rule in high school. So. Riders still sticking in man as Cobain Owens runs the passing lane, gets a nice steal. With a great hesitation, just can't finish.
Help Drew on that, the little flurry of action down there on the blocks.
Yeah.
Cobain really nice head and shoulder fake.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
that was great. Yeah, those hesitations. Not a good pass from Sullivan that Stonebreaker gets in transition and makes a really nice finish against Austin Parks.
Used his body to shield his body from Parks so he couldn't get the dunk.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Big man against big man, full court, full speed. It was nice to see.
A really nice cut.
Nice cut and a nice feed from Parks.
Austin hasn't really gotten as many assists as he did last year, but he's had a couple here tonight, really passing the ball well.
And Connor Stonebreaker suddenly not just on the board, but making more of an impact on the offense.
Good to see the Riders kind of weather the flurry there right at the beginning of the quarter and get right back settled down like they were in the first.
Yeah, you have to assume that at some point in time the Tigers were going to make a little bit of a run back into the game, but obviously Braden Sullivan said not so fast on the run. And buries another three. I think he's 3 for 3 already tonight.
Yep, 3 for 3 on the Fowler TV three-pointers.
Oh, that was a really nice take. That was really nice.
And a little shake and bake with the dribble out front by Connor Stonebreaker before he took it up. And again,
it's a really advanced move for a 6'8" guy. Out on the perimeter to use his ball handling, use his quickness. I think Hillsdale got themselves a real steal in Connor Stonebreaker.
Correct. In fact, on their AAU team this summer, Austin Parks missed a good portion of the summer with an injury, and kind of stepped in to take the lead role inside for their team.
Yeah, I'm sure that did him nothing but good to kind of take an increased role against some high-level competition.
And Stammen misfires from long range, the 5'10" senior. And another turnover by the Riders, but that is one that has he's gotten away with some. Every now and then I'll sit there and say it's going to be a matter of time before a referee calls that, because he does get a little bit underneath the ball and rolls it over too much.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the official, but you can't make it that obvious. A lot of officials are going to call that one.
And Alex Haney comes into the game. Alex has gotten into a couple games, starting with the Finley game, getting a little varsity playing time.
He's had himself a nice couple games on JV, and Coach Hagemeyer likes what he sees, gives him some varsity minutes.
Connor Stonebreaker took an eye at driving on Parks and then decided better of it.
Riesdorn taking it to the basket with a really nice block by Jace Turner. That's something that you don't see as much of as you'd expect with the Riders, is block shots, but kind of sending that one back right there.
He and Angstman are tied at second in the team in blocks this year. And Connor Stonebreaker drills about a 12-footer from the corner to bring the score to 30-10 on the American Legion scoreboard. And we have a full timeout, so we will pause for a word from our sponsors.
Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Spees. Welcome to Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
As a family practice, Spees Chiropractic welcomes in patients of all ages. Whether this is your first time or you've done this before, Dr. Spees and his compassionate staff are here for you. What makes Spees Chiropractic unique is their 3-tier approach. By using chiropractic care alongside massage therapy and physical therapy, all your healthcare needs will be treated compassionately and comprehensively. Spees Chiropractic. Make the right choice for your care.
Laura Yelton State Farm, servicing the St. Marys area since 1989. With your life, home, and auto insurance needs. Call or stop in today and see Laura or Logan Yelton for a free quote. Go Rough Riders!
And we're back at 3 minutes and 55 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter. St. Mary's Rough Riders 30, Versailles Tigers 10. Drew, anything we got here real quick?
Well, we talked about in the pregame, Rough Riders kind of had to turn it up a little bit on defense, and thus far they have. They're getting in passing lanes, they're getting deflected passes, and they've come up with 7 steals thus far, and those have all turned into big-time points. They're doing well in transition, passing well up the floor, and I think only 1 turnover transitionally wise. So.
And speaking of turnovers, we just had one right there to give the ball back to the Tigers, who now look a little more comfortable. They look a little more comfortable on offense.
Lucas Diamond taking it to the rim there, getting rejected, I think by Alex Haney, looked like, but not sure who got the block there. But yeah, you're right. The Tigers have kind of settled in a little bit here. They definitely look kind of out of their league to start the game.
Stammen misfires from long range. Gives the ball back to the Riders, and Braden Sullivan, he's feeling it. That basket's pretty big right now for him.
Yeah, he might deserve a heat check here pretty soon.
And the Riders looking to get the ball inside and turn it over again. Drake Arns.
Freshman guard, but Drake Arns, not sure if there's any relationship
to
Cousins. Okay.
Cousins to the Arns that played at Michigan State and the Ohio State.
Yeah, some good basketball blood there in the Arns family.
And a rare miss from Sully. And hustle play by Alex Haney to grab the offensive board.
It's nice to see the Riders more active. I think a lot of times the Riders don't even go after a lot of offensive rebounds in kind of previous games. So it's nice to see them kind of in the mix, able to grab some of those loose balls.
Haney is a 6'1" sophomore for the blue and gold. And Conway makes his first free throw.
Looks like that's his first free throw attempt on the season.
He's shooting 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, jinxed him.
Down to 50%.
Nice job by Jace Turner grabbing the offensive rebound, just unable to connect on that little right hook.
Connor Stonebreaker with a nice job, and that one was caused by Parks running the lane.
Yep. When you go for a steal and you don't get it, you really kill yourself defensively. You know, you put everybody else in a 4-on-5 situation, and Stonebreaker did a nice job of hitting the little floater.
Little big-to-big action there. And
nice move.
If we can mark that one, we'll take a look at that later. Nice move by Jace Turner using the left, a rarity for Jace Turner.
Yeah, that's a nice move. You know, sometimes when the Riders run that little ball screen offense, they don't necessarily take advantage to what they should offensively, but they did a really nice job of hitting the roll.
Nice multiple fake move by Austin Parks, and did a nice job of sticking with it, even though he missed the initial shot.
Stonebreaker looked a little frustrated there. You know, makes a really nice defensive play, gets the block, but can't do much about keeping Austin Parks off the offensive glass.
Again, if we put them both on the scale, things are not going to be very equal. Stonebreaker misfires from long range. Stonebreaker just sent Haney a message, hey boy, this isn't JV here.
You know, welcome to the league.
Yeah. And Stonebreaker puts his own miss right back in. And
padding the stats a little bit there, getting the offensive rebound.
And Austin Parks looking a little fatigued right now.
Yeah, he didn't get down the floor quite as well as it probably would have liked.
And the Riders call a timeout with 15 seconds to go on the clock. This is like the NBA wanting to draw something up on the last possession. We'll stay right here as this is just a 30-second variety. So was this timeout called just to get Parks back down on the block, give him time to get down there and set something up?
I would suspect it's something of that nature. You know, he's coming off pretty much playing 4 quarters yesterday, besides when he caught maybe a Charlie horse or something. He was out for a solid 15 seconds before he checked back in last night against OG. Didn't play the last couple minutes of the game once it was out of hand, but that's a lot for a big man at 6'11", 260. That's
especially against OG
ask.
Because you're pressing.
Right.
Yeah, that's a lot of running.
He was playing at midcourt a lot of the game, and
lots draws the foul from Drake Irons, and all that really does is lose 5 seconds off the clock. The Tigers are still not in the 1 and bonus yet.
Yeah, Coach Swank probably wouldn't want Arns to pick up his second foul, but you got several fouls to give here with only 4 team fouls. So a lot of coaches will tell your kids to maybe foul in these kind of situations to prevent an easy bucket.
Parks with a rare 3. And although he missed, Hanksman gets himself on the board, I think, for the first time tonight, right? Gets his first bucket of the half to send the score to 37-16 at halftime. We will return with some stats and a little telestrating after our words from our sponsors.
Tap House at the Square invites you to join us after the game. Located in St. Mary's Square Business Complex, the Tap House is the new place to meet old friends. Best of luck to all Rider athletes and teams. Cheers to a healthy and successful season with lots of wins. See you at the Tap House at the Square.
The Friends of the St. Mary's Theater need your financial help. Any donation is welcome, and suggested donations, which can be pledged, are $200, $1,823, $2,023 and beyond. Send check to Friends of SM Theater, P.O. Box 382, St. Mary's, Ohio, or visit Graham Opera House Live to make an online payment to the 501c3. The time is now to make this happen. See more on our Facebook page at Graham Opera House Live.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
Albert Sporting Goods is here to outfit your team, both on and off the field. Since 1980, Albert Sporting Goods has serviced schools, clubs, and businesses throughout Ohio. For all of your uniform, spirit wear, and equipment needs, make it Albert Sporting Goods. Order online now at albertsportinggoods.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we're back at Grand Lake Health Systems Court. The Riders are ahead 37-16 over the Versailles Tigers, kicking off the home portion of the 2023 portion of the schedule off in a very positive fashion here today. Drew, what do we have for stats?
Riders continue that offensive, success that they've had. They're shooting almost 62% from the field, 16 of 26. They're 4 for 7 from 3-ball land. They're getting after it on the offensive boards. And the most important, how we kind of touched on it a little earlier, they've got their hands in the passing lanes. They've turned the ball over for Versailles. They made it really hard for them to work in the first quarter. Versailles on their end, not a whole lot of action on the offensive side besides for Stonebreaker. He's got 12 right now. He's picked up a couple offensive boards, maybe from his own misses. But their kryptonite, as we kind of touched, as a result of all the Riders' steals, is they're turning it over, and they turned it over at a very high rate in that first quarter. And going down 25-2 in any basketball game, but a high school basketball game in particular, is a very tough to dig yourself out. Now, they did win the second quarter by a score of 14-12 over the Riders, but again, that's, 2 points is not getting you very much closer. That leaves you at 37-16. Riders stretched it all the way to 24 at one point. They've led the whole time. They're looking to go coast to coast here. So.
Yeah, Versailles, if they want to come back into this game, it's really going to come down to getting stops. That they definitely played better in the second quarter, but they're still on pace to give up 70 points. So definitely the second half for Versailles is about getting stops and quitting turning it over. They're just turning it over way too much.
And if my math is correct, the Tigers actually outscored the Riders.
Yeah.
That quarter.
Correct. Yeah, 14-12 is what I had.
Yeah, they just need bigger margins if they're going to want to come back. And
right.
The Riders are really playing pretty well in most facets of the game.
So the Riders have a huge size advantage over the Tigers. Obviously throw out Connor Stonebreaker, but he's one guy, 1'6'8" guy who's got his hands totally full with Austin Parks. The rest of the guys are fairly short, not kind of skinny. The Riders have done a nice job of taking the ball inside, done a little high-low, and I think we're going to take a look at some of the high-low action that we saw in the first half. Derek and Drew, why don't you walk us through some things here on the telestrator?
Yeah, we got a little high-low action coming off of a ball screen. If we can bring the clip up under our feed here. Yeah, looks like we're live. So the Riders are kind of running their ball screen motion here. Turner with the ball at the top of the key. Going to swing it over to the right wing to Jaden Lotz. So he sets the ball screen here. Now, if we're going to get really picky, you'd like to see Jace Turner, after setting this screen here, to pin and seal. But if you watch, he doesn't really do that. He just kind of drifts down to the baseline, but does a nice job of ducking in and getting good position. And so if we can back it up here, still getting the feel for the new telestrator here, but so sets the ball screen. Austin Parks flashes to the high post here, so that's where you get the term high-low. So one big at the top of the key here, one big down low. So Jace Turner ducks in. Austin Parks makes the nice pass after Turner seals. And then Turner just goes to work with a really nice move, kind of dropping baseline to the right. And
over a 6'2".
Right, and that's what the high-low brings you, is that the high-low allows you to use your size when you have multiple big men. It pulls Stonebreaker out of the lane so that he can't block shots and takes advantage of your mismatch with Turner on a much smaller guy.
Right, and especially as well as Parks passes, from most spots on the floor, can get it to where Jace Turner is able to work with it and let him do the rest, and he makes an exceptional move there with the fake drop step and then going to his left hand, as we kind of touched on. Is not unusual with him, but just kind of flexing the ability that he still has that, and it's nice to see. It's important, I feel like, for us to touch on just what the rest of the Riders have done besides their normal, Parks going out and getting his. Across the board, Sullivan's got 13, Jace Turner's got 9. Evan Engstrom picked up a few quick fouls, didn't get a ton of time in the first half. It's significant that Sullivan got it going and Turner got it going to that run in the first quarter, because that was something last night that you didn't see enough of, and you really were stretching to try to find that second and third pieces in the offense to get it going.
And of the last, kind of jumping off of that, last 4 games, Sullivan has had 10. He had 10 points against Marion Local, 11 points against Spencerville, and then 9 points last night against OG. So we're starting to get a little more consistent scoring out of him, which is something that the Riders desperately need. They need other scores, as you just said, Drew.
Yeah, he's 3 for 4 from the three-point line, and he does a lot of his points come off those set shot three-pointers. But you guys know their roles, and he's gonna get those shots. There's plenty with Turner down, and you get in that high-low action, and what it does is, if they decide they have to even double down on a Turner who's got a 6'2" Griesdorn on him. Well, somebody's got to come, and that's going to leave guys open on the perimeter. And Sullivan's shown the ability to just knock down those open shots. And for the Riders to kind of pick it up as the season carries on, it's important for him to be able to hit those and do it consistently. So it's nice to see him doing it tonight, and a little confidence boost, get 13 here in the first half, and hopefully continue it as the game works on.
Well, with just about a minute and a half left in the halftime here, we'll take another quick break, and then as we watch Jace Turner drill in that three, we'll take another quick break, and then we will be back for second half action.
St. Mary's Legion Post 323, veterans working for veterans and the future of our country. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 supports veterans programs such as Gifts for Yanks, Support the Troops, Comfort Warriors, blood donor, POW MIA programs, as well as children and youth programs. The St. Mary's Legion Post 323 also donates thousands of dollars each year to local summer programs such as Boys State, Girls State, scholarships in education, Boy Scouts, oratorical, and shooting sports. St. Mary's Legion Post 323, remembering the past, living the present, and working for the future.
And as we get ready to return to action for the second half, the Versailles Tigers, they obviously dug themselves a huge hole in that first quarter, but as we said, did outscore the Riders in the second quarter. So, is Coach Travis Swank, is he giving them that, hey, let's just chip away at this a little bit at a time lecture? Or is he saying, let's just go out and play our game and see what happens?
Yeah, you'll hear a lot of college coaches talk about, with chipping away, say, all right, we want to, because they're down 21 right now, say, all right, we want to have it at 16 by the 5-minute mark or what have you, and just kind of set goals for their team in terms of how to chip away. But that's obviously not a good start for the Tigers, as Austin Parks makes a really nice pass to Cobain Owens as he cuts to the rim for the easy 2.
And Jace Turner almost gets a clean block. It just kind of ran into Jace Watron after the block. In the NBA, they may not have called that a foul because he hit ball first.
Yeah. Sometimes they like to use if you hit ball, then anything afterwards isn't a foul. But I don't particularly like that rule. But I think that Jace earned that foul right there.
Yeah. And Jace Watron nails the first free throw.
Watron comes into the game averaging 9.4 points a game.
And kind of a rare miss for him. He's an 82% free throw shooter.
Yeah, 82%. That's pretty good. He's not going to miss very many.
And right there we had an almost look at a high-low situation.
Yep, they definitely looked at it.
And Jace Turner going over the much shorter A.J. Griesdorn for the easy jumper.
Yeah, Turner doing a nice job of asserting himself. 11 early points here.
And that's really the second time tonight that Parks has kind of flown through a passing lane, not gotten it, and allowed Connor Stonebreaker to get an easy bucket.
Yeah, you like the aggressiveness, but at this point in the game, a lot of times you don't need that kind of aggressiveness you had in the first quarter. You may be better off just not necessarily being in the trail position, but just making sure that the basket's not the first thing he sees after he catches the ball.
Drake Arns, the freshman, the 6-foot freshman, and I think 6 foot might be generous on the height chart.
Yeah, I agree.
Give him a nod though for being willing to go in amongst the trees.
Yeah, after these first couple possessions, you're thinking maybe the Riders were listening to the broadcast, the way they've kind of come out and went right back to the high-low. We must have showed them something that they liked.
Maybe they got a feed down there in the locker room.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that.
A.J. Griesdorn takes up the short little jumper to bring the Tiger score to 21.
It's Griesdorn's first points of the night after a really big night last night against Parkway. He scored 24 points, but kind of quiet so far here tonight.
And Drake Arns, again, the freshman sophomore showing some guts going in there amongst the trees.
No, he's freshman.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Looks like the Riders are looking to take advantage of the Jace Turner mismatch inside.
Looks like maybe a little moving screen action.
He's not necessarily happy about the call.
That's kind of a tough one because, after you set the ball screen there, you're trying to roll and pin a guy to the rim. But if he fights over, sometimes you can get the offensive foul there. Just kind of a tough call. Really nice hands by Austin Parks, kind of stripping Stonebreaker as he really kind of blew by him on the baseline
he made a really quick first step to get around Parks. Austin is now on the block demanding the ball. And just muscled that one up. That I think he thought about maybe going underneath for a reverse, but just decided to take it back against him and use his mass to push him out of the way.
To be able to keep his balance on that, I think that shot difficulty is probably a little more than what people realize. He had all intentions of going to the opposite side of the rim and then stopped underneath the rim, got himself back from underneath, and then still was able to drop it in. That's
a little midair acrobatics.
Right.
Nice driving kick by Drake Arns.
Yeah. And showed nice composure, jump stopping in there, realizing that he had no chance of getting a shot off and spitting it back out.
Yeah, it's kind of more of a veteran move for the freshman there. A lot of guys would try to take that up, and it ends up in the third row, but made a really nice pass. Stonebreaker just did not hit the three.
And Lucas Stahman with a nice hand in the passing lane there to knock the ball out of bounds and create the turnover for the Rough Riders. Lucas Stahman's older brother plays for Bluffton College.
Yeah, he was a MAC Player of the Year a couple years ago, I believe. Evan Anksman looking to take advantage of the size mismatch. Doing a nice job posting up, forcing the foul.
Not something that we see often. Anksman going inside and posting. It's definitely not something that he prefers to do.
Yeah, he definitely likes to shoot the three ball more so than about anything else.
And these last several possessions have been just Parks getting the ball down on the block.
Yeah.
And he probably deserved that foul, well earned, and Connor Stonebreaker might be trying to catch his breath on the way down here because I think
he hit him pretty hard. He definitely earned that one.
Saw that one coming, and yeah, he hung in there and took it.
If you're gonna get one, I guess make sure it counts.
That's true.
There you go. Oh, really nice pass.
Oh, very
Arns
nice
to
pass.
Stonebreaker.
Yes, Arns a little wrap around. That was
that was
pretty
really
smooth.
nice.
Really impressed with the freshman here in the third quarter. He's put his head down, got to the lane, created some things for the Tigers that they didn't necessarily have going for in this first half. So a lot of easy layups that have kind of come from what he's facilitated.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy to be a freshman guard. It's much easier to be a post. As a freshman, the role is a little more simple. But he's doing a really nice job of kind of being real composed and making good decisions.
Coach Travis Swank takes him out probably for just a breather and gives him a well-deserved congratulation as he comes over. Jace Turner puts up a Fowler TV three-pointer for the Riders.
Maybe a little bit of a hand-down, man-down by Turner. He was backing off a little bit. They were trying to prevent the entry pass to Inksman there, who has since kind of joined the high-low action. And instead, Turner makes him pay by basically saying, hey, you can't give me that kind of space out here.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. He hasn't often been that. Oh, it was a nice charge taken by Braden Sullivan, but it's nice to see Turner being more aggressive because, you know, through this most of the early part of the season, he just kind of takes what's been given to him, you know, just kind of open layups and stuff. But nice to see him be aggressive, take some nice moves in the post, takes threes when he's got them, and hopefully that's something that can continue here.
Sullivan's going to take a little bit of a breather. He may have lost his breath a little bit taking that Connor Stonebreaker charge. Again, Stonebreaker did a nice job of blowing by Parks, but Sully was there for the charge on help defense.
Lots, you know, doing a nice job getting to the rim a little bit, but made the cardinal sin of jumping the pass and got up in the air, didn't have anybody to throw it to, and turned it over and then stuck Jace Turner with the foul.
And with a minute and 50 to go in the clock, the Riders have a 23-point lead. Things have kind of been stagnant at this point through the third quarter.
Yeah, the Riders just kind of hanging on to that lead, not letting it get, Tigers not letting it get too far out of hand. Sullivan making a nice defensive play. I think that was off the foot of Carson Heitkamp, but looks like it's going to stay here. I'm not sure I agree with that call, but ball will stay with the Tigers.
We won't do a replay and rip the
expose the official.
Expose the official. Cobain Owen's getting his hand on that, hand in the passing lane.
Turnovers really just killing the Tigers here.
Braden Sullivan back in the game after absorbing that charge. Parks missing the little jumper, but that's really actually a shot that I'm pleased to see him take. And less than a minute to go on the clock. Same shot, cashes in that time. Beautiful move. If we can mark that one, if possible, we'll do a replay at the break. Connor Stonebreaker likes that corner shot. That seems to be a place where he's really, really comfortable. He drills that one. And we have a quick timeout with 26 seconds to go on the clock, and this looks to be a 30-second variety. And again, this is kind of an NBA type of timeout, not much time left, and I don't know if it's to get somebody out, to set something up specifically, but the Riders will have the ball, and it'll be interesting to see whether they try to just do it one shot or run something special. And there we see that little shake and bake by Austin Parks on the replay, on the Schaff Auto replay. And that's a high-level move, Derek.
Yeah, that turnaround is something that he used a little bit last night, kind of for the first time this year. And that's really an unguardable move for anybody around here. He's so big. Connor Stonebreaker playing safety there, picking off the passes a little short by Braden Sullivan.
Tough to throw it over the 6'8" safety.
Right.
Drake Arns getting rejected there amongst the tall St. Mary's lineup. And a rare miss as we run out of time by Braden Sullivan. And as the third quarter ends, the Riders are looking at a 50-27 lead over the Versailles Tigers. We will be back at Grand Lake Health Systems Court after these messages.
Providing insurance services since 1953, the R.J. Burke Insurance Agency is here to help with your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs. Being an independent insurance agency representing many fine companies and located at 121 North Wayne Street in St. Marys, contact Joe Burke or Dan Burke for a no-obligation quote today.
Did you know teen drivers represent the highest risk age group involved in automobile accidents? Because of this, an in-person teen driver education program is extremely important, and Capabilities Driving School is here to help. Capabilities now administers the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicle Driving Test for our students and the general public to obtain their driving licenses. Call us today at 419-394-0003 extension 1300 to enroll or learn more about the services that Capabilities Driving School has to offer.
And we're back at Grand Lake Health Systems Court, ready for the fourth and final quarter of play. Riders in a man again. I think, no, we might not be. We may have been in a little zone there. Parks up top.
Yeah, and that's something that I was kind of thinking to start the fourth quarter here, how do you handle this if you're both coaches? And, that's one thing that you can do is use it as a way to get some game reps in something that you don't normally do. Maybe some extra reps of playing zone or an extra reps of playing a specialty defense.
Austin Parks made the mistake of losing Connor Stonebreaker, wrong Connor, and a Versailles guy. And
Austin kind of fell asleep.
Yeah, you just can't
really
lose.
Nice pass by Drake Arns. Speaking of nice passes,
yes.
Austin Parks makes a really nice pass as Jace Turner's guy kind of turns his head and goes to double.
Yeah, did what Parks did actually.
Yep. Turner cuts and gets the easy layup.
And Connor Stonebreaker, for about the fourth time tonight, just blew by Austin Parks.
Yeah.
Austin's doing what we always call coming out high, kind of jumping up high, jumping on their toes, and just toasting him on his way to the basket.
On a closeout, you want to get real low. Sit your butt down, bend your knees quite a bit, and chop your feet.
Choppy steps, yeah.
Right, so that when the guy takes it to the rim, you can adjust accordingly. And as a pretty poor closeout by Austin Parks, and Connor Stonebreaker really taking advantage of that. Nice drive to the rim, avoiding the brunt of the contact, kind of glancing off of Sullivan, getting the and one.
And misses the free throw, but he is at this point hit his season average of 21 points per game. He's at 22 now, so everything else is house money.
And he's about a 64% free throw shooter, so unlike Austin Parks, not quite the elite free throw shooter.
Good hesitation by Arns. Connor Stonebreaker not happy with that call.
I think he probably was expecting maybe a push foul. And he did travel, but I think he traveled because he got bumped a little bit.
Officials haven't really called that kind of call all night. There's been a lot of bumping that's been going on.
Yeah.
You can't really expect that to start being called, especially in the fourth quarter of a game that's set up the way it is.
Stonebreaker pulling down the rebound.
Carson Heitkamp taking advantage of the easy bucket in transition, and obviously doesn't really matter in terms of outcome most likely. However, that is something the Riders have gotten beat on a lot, is getting beaten in transition.
Connor Stonebreaker giving Parks a taste of his own medicine there, running the passing lane, didn't get the steal, and opened things up for the Riders to have a 5-on-4.
Austin Parks making a very unselfish play and dishing off So Jace Turner, he very easily could have shot that himself, but made the right pass to Turner, who now has 17, might be approaching that career high. I think maybe against New Knoxville he had 19 or 20, somewhere in there. So kind of getting close to that number.
Turner, an 80% free throw shooter, so these are normally pretty sound points for him.
Not taking very many, though. Those
No.
are just 11 and 12 attempts on the season. This is a 10th game, so not shooting many free throws, especially for a big guy.
Austin Parks doing a nice job of helping out on the drive. And we'll see.
We could see a dunk here.
Yeah, Anxman can.
There's
put
dunk
one
number
down.
2 for Evan Anxman. A little more emphatic than the first one.
And we see on the Schaff Auto replay, Anxman going up with the second flush. And Arns, again, the freshman taking it to the Riders.
It was a nice drive.
Unafraid of getting into traffic.
Yeah, as the Orange shoots one of these free throws, I think just kind of from looking back from last night, or whether it's a breath of fresh air to not have to break the press every single time up the court, or you know, for the Riders, it's worth noting that the entry passes we were kind of discussing before the game, you know, the Riders were struggling to get the ball towards the block to Parks and to Turner, and tonight they've done it well. They've got the ball to the wings. They've got passes where you know, you make your bigs available to kind of do something and make moves from it. They're not just trying to save passes from being turnovers, and that's turned into being able to run a little bit more of a half-court offense.
And you're right, Drew. Like last night, it seemed like every pass was a just passing to stay alive kind of pass. And Drake Arns kind of taken over here in the last couple minutes. 8 points for the evening. He's normally just about a 6-point-a-game guy, but just a freshman. Coach Travis Swank has to be pleased having him for the next 3 years.
Yeah, he's made a nice impact here in the second half. Maybe just you're a little bit too late on when the impact started, but we talked about it in the third quarter, and it's still continuing here in the fourth. That
Jace Turner padding the rebounding stats there.
Yeah, still gets the 2 points, but picks up the offensive rebound in the process.
Yes.
Not sure if he intended for that, but it helps the old stats.
Yep.
puts him up to the big 20 on the night. That's a nice number for Turner.
Oh, that's great. What is he rebounds for the night?
This could be, I might have missed one or two, but I got him at 6 at the moment. So
okay.
we're approaching that.
Woo! And we'll definitely get a replay on that one, but that was just coast to coast, going up with the big boys on that dunk.
He jumped from a long ways away. I wasn't expecting that one. I kind of expect just the lay-in, but he dunked that one.
He kind of went up with his hand under the ball like he was just going to lay it in, and then just said, no, I guess I can.
Nope, I'm dunking it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can turn that over and put it down. Very impressive by Austin Parks. And the American, we should send that to ESPN for a top 10 play. On the American Legion scoreboard, the Riders have a 60-39 point lead with just under 4 minutes to play. And we're going to stay here because we had to show that replay. We couldn't go to the break and commercials without showing that. That was impressive.
No offense to Evan Anxman, but that dunk was a little better than his two dunks.
Yeah. And a little Dominic Wilkins on the takeoff from really far away from the basket to put it down.
Yeah, Stonebreaker's had it's panning out to be kind of a terrific night, especially with Parks on him. He's got 22. He's kind of utilizing the over-aggressiveness of Parks, get himself some easy buckets, but Parks kind of right there with a little flash of the reminder of why he's got
I'm still good.
Yeah, got the commitment to Ohio State.
And Parks. I hate to be picky, but my college coach would have said, if you'd have used the correct hand, you'd have had that steal.
We probably would have seen something even a little more spectacular than that last one.
And Cobain Owens is getting the same carrying call that he got early in the game. Different official, but same call, getting his hand too far underneath the ball.
Yeah, and Cobain, palms up to the sky, doesn't think that that's the right call, but he is getting under it.
Yeah,
it's a habit he's going to have to break.
Yep.
Connor Stonebreaker looking pretty comfortable out on the perimeter, handling the ball.
Bringing it up against Parks, big man against big man, playing guards.
Dominic Bargy, he got all of the rim, just didn't get it to go.
Lots hits Sullivan on a little backdoor-ish kind of cut.
I like to see the Riders here just, run the offense, work on those reps that Derek kind of mentioned earlier. These are important, especially with the struggles that they've had thus far through the season. You want to see the offense ran. You want to get into that high-low. This is all stuff like that, just like that. You get a screen, you run a couple of them, eventually somebody slides off, Ankson puts his head down, gets to the rim, now you're shooting free throws.
Yeah, it's important in these situations where you're up by a ton to be able to run a little offense, be patient, and not turn the ball over, because that's been such a hiccup for the Riders all season. So, having longer possessions, because, coming down the stretch of the season here, you're going to have games where you're up by 5 or 6 points rather than 20, and it's important to not turn it over down the stretch. Get good possessions, hang on to it, and get good shots. And so those kind of possessions are important, and Evan Ankson doing a nice job of converting on the drive and then both free throws.
Evan just under 80% free throw shooter, so again, very comfortable at the free throw line. Would like to get him there a little bit more, but very good free throw shooting for him. Griesdorn connects, and he comes into the game as the third leading scorer for the Tigers at 8 points a game. But it looks like it's going to be probably a little bit too late, too little too late for the entire Tigers team. You look at it and pretty much have been stagnant score-wise with the Riders since that first quarter.
Yeah, and it's not all that surprising that the lead hasn't grown at all for the Riders. It's tough to maintain that level of intensity, to build on a 20-point lead. But Tigers just haven't been able to chip away at it.
Jay's hitting point number 21 for the evening. Fine game for him. And number 22, again, the 80% free throw shooter for the Riders. And it looks like the Riders are going into a little bit of a 3-2 here to close out the game. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Hagemeyer pulls the guys and gives subs a little bit of court time here in the last minute and 30. Coach Travis Swank calls a timeout, full timeout, so we will pause just for a minute and then return for the last minute and a half of the game.
At Chef Auto Sales in St. Marys, we don't play any of those pricing games. Our quality vehicles are priced at or below market value, and our no-pressure friendly staff is here to help you. So before you buy, give us a try. Come see me, Aaron Hyde, the car guy at
Mark your calendars for Memorial High School's performance of Anastasia, the musical, March 31st to April 1st. Inspired by the 20th century Fox motion picture, this dazzling show transports its audience from the Russian Empire to 1920s Paris. As a brave young woman enlists the help of a charismatic ensemble cast to reconnect with her past in search of home, love, and family. Follow the St. Marys Memorial High School Drama Club on Facebook for more information.
It's Friday. And we're back with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go on the clock. And everything's pretty much decided except for the final score.
Yeah, this game's as good as done. I assume Coach Hagemeyer just like we mentioned, just wanted to get some game reps for that 3-2 zone and get some practice at it. Obviously, it's a better look than going against the JV team in practice.
And the Tigers turn that one over, and probably the Riders will just kind of run offense here and may or may not even try to get a last shot.
It'd be nice to see the Riders be able to run a little kind of four corners offense,
which
we kind of did there.
Braden Sullivan doing a nice job of penetrating and ditching after the drive.
With 24 points, I'm definitely guessing we could see a dunk. Oh, not a good enough pass from Braden Sullivan there.
Yep. Oh, and what an excellent no-look pass. Excellent pass by Jake Arns, but his teammate mishandled it, and I think that Coach Hagemeyer will get his starters out the last 34 seconds, give them a little applause.
I want to give a shout out to Jace Turner for having a heck of a game tonight.
What a nice night he's had.
24 points. I'm guessing career high there. That was really nice.
And scored from a little bit of everything.
Yep.
Some threes, some post-ups, some free throws. Yeah. Braden Sullivan just kind of running the clock out.
Looks like this is going to be the final here.
Yes. And that is the ball game. Final score, Riders 66, Tigers 43. We will take a quick break so that Drew can boot up the final stats on the computer, and we will be back.
Colder weather is just around the corner, and you want to make sure your family's vehicle is tuned up and ready to go. Rabel's Auto Service has been voted the best auto repair center in St. Marys the last 3 years. And did you know they will pick up and deliver your vehicle for free? Give Rabel's Auto Service a call at 419-394-1624 or stop in and see Jeremy at 1610 Salina Road in St. Marys. Rabel's Auto Service in St. Marys. Give them a call today.
Hello. I'm Dr. Robert Spees. Welcome to Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
As a family practice, Spees Chiropractic welcomes in patients of all ages. Whether this is your first time or you've done this before, Dr. Spees and his compassionate staff are here for you. What makes Spees Chiropractic unique is their 3-tier approach. By using chiropractic care alongside massage therapy and physical therapy, all your healthcare needs will be treated compassionately and comprehensively. Spees Chiropractic. Make the right choice for your care.
Laura Yelton State Farm, servicing the St. Marys area since 1989. With your life, home, and auto insurance needs. Call or stop in today and see Laura or Logan Yelton for a free quote. Go Rough Riders!
Tap House at the Square invites you to join us after the game. Located in St. Mary's Square Business Complex, the Tap House is the new place to meet old friends. Best of luck to all Rider athletes and teams. Cheers to a healthy and successful season with lots of wins. See you at the Tap House at the Square.
And we're back at Grand Lake Health Systems Court following a Rough Rider victory, snapping the 3-game losing streak. Drew, hit us with some really positive stats for the Riders.
Yeah, I'd like to start off is this is a very important game for the Riders to get tonight. You know, you go from the 3-game losing streak that you mentioned, the world just coming down, the sky's falling after last night. You know, there's not a whole lot that you can hang your hat on from last evening. And the Riders come out and they start hot and they go up 25-2 in that first quarter, and you know they really just come out fire on all cylinders. And it's important for them as high school athletes, especially, to show the mental strength to be able to turn around, get it going again, and from everybody. You know, it wasn't just your typical tonight of Austin Parks. Everybody got it going. We hit it already. Jace Turner had 24. He was 9 for 14. Parks ended up with 14, kind of a quiet 14. He was 7 for 10 for the night. Sullivan had 13. It was 3 for 5 from 3 land. Riders ended 5 for 10 from behind the arc tonight. 22 of 32 total on the evening with a 64% rate at that. Going over to the Tigers, they kind of got it going in the second half. Maybe something for them to hang their hat on going in to the next game, but it was just too much that first quarter of what the Riders did. Stonebreaker really kind of flexing his muscles tonight, and it was a big matchup for him, and he kind of showed what he was capable of, the D2 commit. He had 24 total tonight, 12 of 14 from the floor, very, very efficient. Both of his misses were just the 3-ball that he was kind of dared to take by Parks. Rounding out the rest of the scoring for the Tigers, Drake Arns ended up with 8, 6 from A.J. Griesdorn, and then a 3-ball thrown in by Jace Watron. Percentage-wise, they were not terrible, but they just turned the ball over. It was kind of
it's almost like St. Mary's in some
the Riders' way of that they've been playing, and the Riders kind of turned the tide and forced it on their opponents. And you see great things happen when you shoot as well as they did, and they. Not that we handled the ball particularly great. We saw our fair share of turnovers. I think I had us tallied at 16 still on the night for the Riders. Nothing to hang your hat on, but you can deal with 16 turnovers a lot easier when you're shooting the way that they are and forcing them the way that they did. So.
All right. Let's see. Let me look at my notes here. The Tigers will host Minster next Friday when they return to action. So they got a week off, and then we'll back to the Mighty Mac schedule. The Riders get a week off until they host Van Wert next Friday, and Rider Nation Station will be here. Rider Nation Station will also be here next Thursday for wrestling action, and that will, again, next week's Van Wert week. So the wrestlers will be hosting Van Wert, and yeah, Rider Nation Station will be have a busy weekend. I think that's a wrap, guys, right? All right, so welcome back to the new year, everybody here at Rider Nation Station boys basketball. We will see everyone next Friday for basketball, next Thursday for wrestling. Good evening, everyone.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.